I don't know what's more of a mess. My hair, my room, or YouTube right now. Am I right? Can I get an amen? Oh my God, please fix it. So YouTube, please. Hey, what is up, people of all different types of ages, races, genders, and yes, even you other species out there watching this video. It's your boy OmegaPro, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about top 5 ultimate attacks in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, not to be confused with Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1. So this list, I don't think is really gonna have any sort of like ranking. Like, I don't know if any of these are above the rest or whatever. I'm gonna sort of give my opinion as to what I think the 5 best ultimate attacks are, and tell you why I think that. So for the majority of these are all going to be ultimate attacks that are very, very usable in multiple situations. Like, there's some ultimate attacks that I really like, you know, Black's Kamehameha or Spirit Sword, but these abilities require you to set up prerequisites to be able to use them, like, you know, getting a stamina break or something like that. These, I think, for the most part, can be used without, you know, crazy requirements or anything like that. So anyway, let's go ahead and get right on into the list. Number 5 is going to go to Reverse Mabuken Senko! I think this move has so much utility in it. It's, of course, the counter move that we all know of. You might even hate it because a lot of people like to run it online because it is just that good. It allows you to reverse a strike attack and then end up flinging the opponent back and then hitting them with a very powerful blast. Does a shit ton of damage, and it's great for being defensive, or even if you're a very offensive player, you can use this to fake your opponent out and be like, hey, what's good? I'm gonna come at you, and then be like, skirt, skirt, reverse Mabuken Senko when they try to hit you. This move is awesome to have as like in your back pocket, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times you don't really know what your opponent's rocking. So let's say you guys are fighting, having a good ass time, it's an intense battle, and then you bring out the pocket, reverse Mabuken Senko, and then your opponent's just like, oh shit, I was not expecting that. But now that they know that you have it, it creates a whole nother mind game where they're like, oh shit, I just vanished behind it. Maybe I shouldn't attack because he might do reverse Mabuken, and I don't really want to get hit by that shit. So this move is very, very powerful because if your opponent doesn't know you have it, you have a strong leg up on them. But if they do know you have it, it also creates another dynamic wherein you don't know what the hell's gonna happen. So definitely gonna have to give a slot here on the good old list to reverse Mabuken Senko. Number 4, we have Number 4, we have the move that I like to run on my created character the most, Emperor's Death Beam. This move has a ton of utility as well, because if you miss the first Emperor's Death Beam, you have a bunch of other ones that come out and, you know, they, you know, deplete your ki. Now, if you can catch somebody in a combo with this, you will deal a shit ton of damage, especially if you're running a ki heavy build. Check out my Freezer Race ki build for more information on that. You can use this at the end of a combo, in the middle of a combo, or even when you and your opponent sort of like clash and then, you know, try to distance each other and try to feel each other out when there's a very neutral game going on. You can sometimes catch your opponent off guard by hitting them with this. Also, if they get too close, this does have like some super armor properties, so that way they're not going to be able to hit you out of it. And if they're that close trying to hit you when you're using this move, they're screwed because you're going to hit them with the Emperor's Death Beam, and then they're going to get hit with the full brunt of the attack. This move is very, very powerful and has a lot of properties to it that make it that way, such as, you know, like I said, the super armor, the fact that so many of these death beams come out, the fact that it comes out pretty quickly, and of course the fact that after the move is done, even if you do miss it, you're not sitting there for 600 days. I mean, you're still, you know, there's a cooldown period, but it's not too long, and I feel like this move is pretty like low risk, high reward kind of, and that's why I kind of like to use it. But I don't use it in a scummy way, you know what I'm saying? I ain't no scumbag, feel me? What I do is I generally use it at the end of a combo or something like that, and it tends to work out pretty well for the kid. Number 3 is going to be Supernova Huh? Yeah, that is what it's called. Hello? Supernova Cooler. The reason why I like this move is because it comes out extremely quick, is super large, and travels super quick. So this is great on small maps, which are maps that I generally like to play. So like you're talking like world tournament and stuff. If you get somebody in like a corner and you start charging up a supernova, or super cooler nova rather, you're gonna have to force your opponent to do one of two things. They're either going to have to try to dash at you to try to break your stamina, which this move comes out so fast that it's almost impossible to do that, or they have to try to run away from this ability, and depending on how you space them out, this can almost be impossible at some points. So Super Cooler Nova, what is this fucking move called? Supernova Cooler forces your opponent into a very awful situation. Now, obviously, if you're all the way up here and you know your opponent is a pretty good distance away, you don't want to just be like, okay, fuck it, Supernova Cooler, go! You know, it's not gonna work like that. But if you are smart with your spacing, then this move will freaking royally screw your opponent. This move is especially good if you're actually using Final Form Cooler himself, because of the way that Cooler manipulates space in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. The way he can manipulate the opponent to sort of have their camera act a little bit more weird than they normally do with other characters can make Supernova Cooler just a devastating move. Check out my video on who I think the best character is for more information on that. Number 2, we have my personal favorite ultimate in the game. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, my favorite ultimate in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 goes to Heat Dome Attack. Now, this move I have put so much time and effort in to try to make it work. And, you know, as you guys know, my main character that I like to use is Future Trunks with the, you know, black tank top without the jacket on. And this move just feels so good to land. The way I use this move is I'll usually get a stamina break, and then like you have to travel so close to your opponent to be able to use this. You have to be like essentially inside of them almost, and then you can use this Heat Dome Attack and it'll hit them. Trust me, I've done it many times. You can also try to do it if they're on the ground. You can try to hit them with the Heat Dome Attack. Sometimes this works, sometimes they can roll out of it or whatever, but essentially this move is very, very powerful and very useful if your opponent's stamina situation is not looking too tight, you know what I mean? If they don't have enough stamina to vanish, or even better, if their stamina broken, it's going to be very difficult to dodge this move, similar to Supernova Cooler, if you utilize the space correctly, because you get a big fire orb around you and then you shoot it up. One thing to note though, if you do try to use this move, just because you have the big, you know, fire orb shit around you, the opponent can still charge up an attack and stamina break you while you are charging up the Heat Dome Attack. So if you're gonna land this move, it's very, very high risk, but it looks cool as hell, and it's a beautiful way to end off a match. This one I put in there because it's a bias. It's actually not that good of an ultimate, but I put it in there because I seem to make it work for myself, and I personally like it, and that's all I give a damn about. And number 1, what I feel to be overall the most useful ability or ultimate in the game, for of course PvP, is going to be Justice Combination. I don't have gameplay for this shit because fuck Justice Combination, I'll never use that move. Even with the recent nerf, Justice Combination is still just overall a great move. It's very easy to combo into and does a shit ton of damage and doesn't require that much ki. So this move is very, very useful. Now they did make it a bit more punishable because now you can like vanish out of it and do, you know, cool stuff like that. But assuming you are managing your stamina or your opponent's stamina correctly, and they're not going to be able to vanish out of this, once you get that initial hit, it's game over for them, because this does a ton of damage. And like I said, it is super easy to land, super easy to combo into. Justice Combination still, in my opinion, reigns above all else because of its usability. Now, if I had to rank these in any list, I would probably say the top two are probably Justice Combination and Reverse Mamba, blah, 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 just because of how useful they are and in how many situations they can be applied in. These are moves that are just so safe and they work for every situation. Like if I wanted to use Heat Dome Attack or Emperor's Death Beam or Supernova Cooler, whatever the hell that move's called, if I wanted to use these moves, I would have to make sure that I can manipulate my opponent well enough. But if I'm going up against somebody I've never faced before, never fought, I don't know their playstyle, I don't know how to, make use of their habits to turn it against them. If I don't know these things, then Reverse Mamba, blah, 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 and Justice Combination are great moves to use just because they work in almost every situation. Like sometimes when I'm playing Xenoverse 2, I'll play as a character that I don't know as. And when that happens, my instincts come into play, like feeling out certain stamina break combos. You play the game enough, you learn that, okay, this is enough time to land a stamina break, or, whatever. You learn how to fight off of pure instinct alone. And I feel like Justice Combination and Reverse blah, 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 can be applied into your instincts when you're playing Xenoverse 2. So even if, you don't have a correct build for it or whatever, it is so malleable that you can fit it in to any kind of playstyle that you have. But those are my top 5 ultimate attacks in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. What are some of your favorites? Let me know in the comment section down below. Did I leave a major one out? I know that there's other ones like the Key Explosion and all that other bullshit, but these are the ones that I personally feel to be either strong or that I personally like to use. So like, for example, I don't really use Reverse blah, 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 or Justice Combination just because I feel like it doesn't really require much challenge. And I like to sort of challenge myself when I'm playing. The other moves I feel like are good enough so where like they're easy enough to like work into combos so that way anybody can really use them, but I don't like feel scummy by doing it. That makes sense? But yeah, that was it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, please consider leaving it a like rating, as that does help me out. Again, comment your ultimate attacks. Check out my Patreon below. $1 a month, I'll suck your toes. Who knows what might happen? Bars. Subscribe here if you're new. Did I say subscribe? I hate when people do that. Subscribe here if you're new. We got Xenoverse 2 all the time, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.